So we're going back to his original plan, which is 2 belted passenger seats. Now you can see down at the bottom sort of the rise and fall of the floor, that one in particular, so you can see it's in the thing. The blue tape, by the way, is where there's holes there with a nail through, which I've pre-drilled, and that's where the seat foot needs to go. Because of the cross sections under the van and big steel sections under the van, I can't drill into one of them. I've got to go through the floor bit. I've got to create spaces to make it safe, otherwise the bolt heads just rip through the floor, because if there's an accident, because it's only a thin floor, so I've got to put some steel, big washers if you like, or metal spacers underneath. The thing with that one is when I put the feet where the blue tape is, I think it's too close to that wall to sit comfortably, your elbows on the wall, and there's going to be a wall on the wall, so I think it's going to move across. The problem is I'm going to go back under the van and have another look, but I think where the foot is now in that dip, I think that's bang where my section is under the van that I can't drill into. So then you move further this way to the right, but then you're getting further away, you've got a big gap at that side, and you're losing your walking space through here to get through. And again, as I've said before, let's see how we get on. Seem to have wasted a lot of time trying things and not getting anywhere. But these are reasonable seats, they're comfy enough, they've got seat belts in, they'll be safe when I've done securing them to the floor. Then I'll be able to crack on and get this floor insulated with a subfloor on top, and then everything can progress. Okay, so it's very odd how this is panning out. So this seat, albeit it's in a dip there and it appears to be in a dip there, whereas that one is on the high point, but then here's a bit of a dip, but then I've used this steel to bring it up. When you look at the top, they look to be within, I don't know if they are level or not, but they appear to be level. Certainly not noticeable that you'd say, oh crikey, that seat's higher than that seat. You know what I mean? Maybe you would. Now I'm looking at it through the video, maybe I would, but it's not noticeable without studying it. So they look alright there like that. So again, a bit of fabrication for this steel plate, and then I'm going to have to commit and start drilling holes, I think. I just do think that that's a little bit close to this wall for comfort. I mean, I'm a wide fella, as you've seen, so when I sit on that, I'm right up against the wall. Although my sons that are sitting there are both neither one's an overweight and they're both slim, so maybe it would be okay. I don't know. I don't know if you can see me, this is some steel that I bought to try and make something for the swivel seats that I can't fit. It's 6mm thick, it's 60mm wide, and it's however long it is. So I'm thinking of using this inside the van to try and raise the foot where the feet are going to go. So to try and raise it, I'm going to put them, I don't know if it'll fit that way, but if I put it that way, I think it will. but it might be able to raise the foot so the foot's sat even rather than one down, one up. Quite work either because you've got a gap here. All I can do is put something here that really brings it to that level, which actually might be right. So I'm going to have to put this. Use this steel as a packer to lift the foot up so it's level with that foot, which is on the raised piece. Yeah. There's me. What a job. Each one's slightly different, so let's have a look. This one's in a dip. Them two are more or less the same height. But the problem is this one then drops into a small, one's on a rise and one's on a dip. I have to consult the video from under the van and see if I can move. Can I move it that way? Again, you know, a couple of inches that way. Might mean that we can't get through that walkway so good. Right, sorry about the angles and stuff. I'm upside down under the van, but these are the nails where I've drilled holes, put nails through and then put blue tape on the top. And as you can see, that's working really well as a marker. What you're looking at there is the seat nearest the sliding door, and then that's the front, these two. There's the other one right over there, opposite the cable. But then this is the problem one. There's a big cross member here going right down the van, and then the seat that's nearest the wall, which I think is too near the wall, if I move it anyway, it's going to end up in here, in this big box section. That's going to be problematic in itself, trying to get something on there that fits. I'm using two phones here. I'm using one as a torch and one as a video. And there's the back, which again it's close there. I'm gonna have to fabricate a plate there, there, to stop the bolts pulling through in the case of an accident. These are fine, that one's fine, it's these. But if I move it any further to the opposite side to get away from this cross member, then the chair's not going to fit by the wall. So if I try and move it this way, then even an inch this way is going to make it so you can't sit on the chair because the wall's there. So the wall's over this side in here. This is what it is. I'm sure I can fabricate something that's going to be safe and fit that. Same with M3. I'm happy with these nails though. They give you a proper indication of what's going on and where your plates need to be. I'm really pleased with that. That side's not a problem, it's just this one here and these 4. You can only do what you can do. I suppose van building is just a load of compromises one after another. But you're trying your best. You want a particular thing, it don't quite work. Oh, by the way, that needs repairing. Look, the exhaust brackets, it's broke. Which I've noticed. I need a new rubber mounting for that. By the by. Right, let's crack on. Good morning everybody, if it's morning where you are. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe, click like, give me a comment. This is a van conversion series and we're converting Ruby the Sprinter van. I left you where we were trying to get bolts through the floor and things to secure the passenger seats, and then, as is often the case, I stopped filming, got into the job, trying to think and focus and concentrate, and never picked up the camera again. So today I'm going to try a bit harder. Today we'll try and get a bit more footage, but it's difficult because you get going in it, you know what I mean, you get in the moment. We've got a leaky window that's we've had some rain this week and we've got a leaky window in 3 or 4 places, so I'm going to try and seal that again without taking it off. I'm just going to try and over seal it and we'll see if I can if that's enough. So let's crack on. So this is where we left it. This seat's more or less in and secure. There's one bolt at the other side that the holes don't line up, so I've got to get under the van and drill upwards to get the holes to line up. But being the size I am and the lack of fitness and everything else, I'm minimising the amount of times I've got to get on the floor. So what I'm going to do now is, these holes have been drilled to size, the blue, where the blue mark is. This side's been done. This side needs doing. These were the small holes that I just put in the first place. Once they're in, then there's a spacer plate to put on this side inside the van to lift this leg to make it flat and balanced. And then I'll put it in place, put the bolts through, get under the van, realign the hole on that side, re-drill it, and then put the spreader plates underneath and see if everything lines up. We will see. Right, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, which I think is a reasonable time. I've got the van doors shut at the back to try and contain the sound a little bit. Just being conscious of neighbours. I'm building this outside my house on a residential street, so let's get these holes drilled as quickly as I can, and then it minimises the noise. Quick as that. What I did do is, I don't think you're going to be able to see this, but I invested in a quality drill bit, especially with the spacer plates, because they're like 6mm. So cutting through some 6mm steel isn't the easiest thing. I don't know if you can't even focus on it, but you get the point. I spent a little bit more money than I normally would. I normally buy cheap, throw away stuff. This just goes straight through it. This is a wonderful bit of kit. I'm very impressed with it. Okay, so this is what we've done under the van. I've fitted extra steel, 6mm thickness, as you can see, and it's not pretty. I've seen better on YouTube. I mean, this one here, look, I ended up doing it in 2 pieces just because I could get the drill holes to line up with this particular one. Could get them 2 in. This was 1 piece that came along here, and then that one just wouldn't line up, so I've just created another smaller one. Hopefully that's enough to stop the seat pulling through the floor. I think it is, because even if that one pulls through, it's unlikely it's all going to pull through. I mean, Christ, what kind of accident are you going to be in if that happens? So what I'm going to do now is I've slacked them off. I'm going to put some grip fill in here, under here, and round this one, sort of in there, and then I'm going to tighten it up. Now, the grip fill is nothing to do with keeping it strong or anything like that. It's not going to be relied upon for strength. It's purely going to be relied upon for keeping the plates in place, because when I fit the floor, I'm going to have to take the nuts and bolts off, drill up, which I'm looking at this is a chuffing problem now, look. Somehow my intention was to drill up through the hole, through the insulation and through the floor. That would give me where the leg is, and then I would nibble it away and put the foot back down to the metal, the seat foot back down to the metal, and then put the bolts back through, and then the plate would be in place. I'm looking at that and that, the prop shaft, and that's going to be in the way of a drill, and over there as well, that's the same, that's going to be in the way of a drill. All these are okay, I could get these through, but again, I don't know what I'm doing, and we'll see how we get on. The grip fill is just an idea, like I've said, sealant, whatever, just hold the plates in place for when I take the nuts and bolts out, so all the plates don't go flying about. And then the idea was to drill up through, so I line everything back up again. Might not be as easy as I'm thinking because of this thing, prop shaft. Let's see, here we go. So there you go, that's with the grip fill, squeezing out. I've just done a couple, as you can see there. Now hopefully when I take these nuts and bolts out to do the floor up inside the van, the plates will stay in place. And that's all I need them to do, it's nothing else, I just need them to stay in place. Okay, here we are. The front floor, the back floor's been in for a while, you've seen that. The front floor's in now, the insulation's down, it's battened off. Spent a lot of time fitting these. So this is the end of this video really. You can see I've cut the floor out and insulation, it's gone straight back to the metal again. Some big M10 bolts, bolting it all in. Really pleased how strong it is, not moving anywhere. So I think they're fine, they're safe. There's still some bits here to do with the floor to make good on that. But the bottom of the seat will be boxed in, so you're not going to see that it's cut away there. So yeah, and these stains, all this will be gone. So I think what we'll do is I'll finish with, I'm going to put a picture up of the most recent plan. I mean, it's changed as you've seen through the videos. I bought some single swivel seats for the front. That didn't happen. That took days and weeks out of the timeline. I've resealed this window. They were leaking in at this window. I've resealed that. Just going to throw it down with rain tomorrow, so that'll be the test. I'm not going to bother hosing it down. I'm going to give it as long as it can to cure. Right, that finishes this sequence, this video, and this has all been about the floor and getting the seats in. I hope you've seen the errors and stuff that I've done. This is not a how-to video, this is me just logging what I've done, good or bad, probably ugly, but there you go. You're welcome. Click like and subscribe, give us a comment, don't be too nasty, but it is what it is. I don't know what I'm doing, no idea what I'm doing. I'm just getting everything from YouTube, and as I keep saying, we'll see how we get on.